So what's going on, boys and girls? What's up, world? Austin John Plays here, and welcome back to another episode of Shrine Hunters. So far, we've already done the Great Plateau, Dueling Peaks, Hateno, Lanayru, Faron, Lake Gerudo, Akkala, and Eldin. And now, due to popular request, we are going to be doing the Wasteland. Wasteland Tower is located right here at the very top of Gerudo Canyon. In a fairly easy to find location. In order to get up here, you're gonna either need to use Ravioli's Gale, or grab one of these great big blocks, hit these stones over, and use Cryonis to make your way up. Fantastic. The first shrine we're gonna make our way to is right next to the Gerudo Canyon stable, and that's the Kano Shrine, Power of Electricity. This shrine is found right out in the open, just kinda above and directly across from where the stable is located. Shouldn't be that hard at all to find. Here for the Power of Electricity, you're gonna use Magnesis to move this orb onto this pedestal. There'll be a Guardian Scout in the next room, take care of him, and chop down this orb using a bow. Now use Magnesis again and bring this orb all the way to the other side and place it on the other electricity activated pedestal. This will then take the giant rock and move it out of your way. This reveals a chest with a small key. That small key then opens up this doorway. Take care of your next Guardian Scout. This room has two pools with electricity and magnetic blocks. The one on the left is just to show you an example of what it's supposed to look like. And the one on the right just requires you to move things over slightly. This one needs to be right next to that. And this one needs to be kind of in between the two. That will open up your doorway. Before you leave, make sure to turn around and use a Magnesis to grab the chest on top of here. This brings you to your shrine orb. Fantastic. Our next shrine is going to be one that you can actually see from the Great Plateau, and in my second playthrough, which is a live playthrough that I hope you guys join me for, you can actually see it, and it's the Jee Noh Shrine. The Jee Noh Shrine is found pretty much out in the open. If this is going to be one of your first shrines from the Great Plateau, just be careful, there's some kind of powerful enemies nearby. This one is going to be on the move, and in this first room, you have a couple options on what you want to do here. Take out your stasis command, and use stasis on the platform right above that. Hit the orb with an arrow. I mean, technically you don't even need to use stasis. You just snipe it out while it's rolling along. Now in our second room, it's pretty much a similar thing, except you need to also take care of some Guardian Scouts. If you're using a bow that shoots out multiple arrows, it's kind of important to make sure that you don't shoot more than one hitting the ball at the same time, otherwise it'll have too much momentum. So for me, I'm gonna wait till it's just on the right side. Perfect. Saw that nice slice I got there? Now in our third room. As soon as you enter, there's gonna be an orb. We're going to use stasis on that laser and work our way over with the orb. Careful, you only have a limited amount of time. On the conveyor at some point, you're gonna find a chest that's magnetic. You can just pull him over and grab him at your leisure. Next, for the double lasers, you're gonna need to wait until a large block is coming down the conveyor. So I'm going to freeze the laser directly in front of me, grab my shrine orb, and then run with that block. You pretty much just need to be directly down path of that laser, and you should be able to walk through no problem. Place the orb into the holder, and that's gonna open up your doorway. Now just enter and get your shrine orb. Fantastic. Our next shrine that we're gonna be going after is the Dako Tak shrine. Now be careful, because there's sometimes sandstorms in this area. Your best bet is to go from the Gerudo Canyon stable, work your way on top of here, and then glide down to the shrine over here. When you reach the shrine, it's gonna be fairly out in the open. Great. This is going to be called the Electrified Path. As soon as you enter, take care of those Guardian Scouts. In the room with the moving platform, get on top of the platform, which brings you directly over to this, I'm going to call it a generator. And we're going to use Magnesis on it. We're then going to hold the generator up against the pathway as the platform takes us to the other side. This shrine is going to be mostly taking this entire generator from one side of the place to the other side. Halfway up the elevator is going to be a chest, don't forget that. In our second room, there's two Guardian Scouts on the floor. Just drop the generator on the floor to electrocute them. Be careful to not land on the electrocuted floor yourself. Use Magnesis to push that giant block away and continue on with your generator. If you make your way down the path, you're going to find this crystal, which is then going to provide you a path in case you ever fall down. Just kind of like a, hey, you kind of messed up. Here you go. Let's hand this to you. Let's take our generator up the pathway and place it on top of the pedestal right there. Now we can casually take the elevator up without worrying about our generator. This brings us to an area that you gotta think pretty quickly. Get on top of the platform, take out the Magnesis rune, and just wait for Link to get close to this platform right here. We're then going to push that out of our way as much as we can. And then once we passed it, you can move it away and collect your chest and your shrine orb. Fantastic. Optionally, you can trigger the associated shrine quest by speaking to Noboro at the Karakara Bazaar. But again, that's optional, or you just, come here and do it. Great. Our next shrine is going to be the Sumaw Sahma shrine, and it's located right between Mount Granaj and Daval Peak. If you already did the Ishtosa shrine, then it's just a small walk away from there. And you're going to make your way to this small wrecked cabin and this little bit of pond right here. Here you're going to find a little notebook. We're going to read this notebook. This is the Mountain Peak Log. It tells you a really sad story of some people who were trying to study some stuff and then they died. I'm going to highly recommend that you do this with a flame blade, because that's going to make your life so much easier. Now, this one for me took a lot of trial and error. So you're going to notice that there's a whole bunch of snowballs in here. It's important to not have your flame blade equipped. Basically, what you're going to need to do is take this big ol' snowball from inside of this pond, wait for exactly 4 o'clock, and then your shadow is going to line up with that little hole right there. I dropped my snowball. Bye, snowball. So right here it's 3:40 p.m. I do not have my flame blade equipped, and if you notice, the snowball is just slightly too large to cover only the center area of that pedestal. So I'm going to equip my flame blade right now, which is going to slightly melt that snowball and then line it up perfectly, and then boom. That is the big ol' secret to this one, which my first time doing it, it took me about 3 hours to come up with exactly how that's supposed to work. But yeah, that's how that's supposed to work. Make your way inside of the shrine for a blessing, and you're gonna get yourself a Moonlight Scimitar, which is pretty garbage. But you do get your shrine orb, and that's the important part. Great. The next one is gonna be the Dila Maag shrine, which is located at the South Lomai Labyrinth. From exactly where we are, I can actually show you a super sweet shortcut. We're just gonna run to the west side, because the west side is the best side, and we're just going to glide on down. Now there's an exact point that you're looking to land in, and I'm gonna show you to you right now. I also made a complete video just about this one thing, and I'm probably gonna link it in a card up above, but there's a good chance that I'll forget to do that, and that's totally fine too. So you might see it show up, boop. Great, possibly. We're gonna wait till we're pretty much above the bottom right area. And we're gonna wanna float down right in this crack right here. You're gonna see a whole bunch of malice, but you're gonna notice that it's 2 different levels of platforms. Wait till you're under that first platform. The first time that you're here and you land, you're now going to learn that you're doing a shrine quest, and then you walk right here, and then your shrine quest is complete. This is the Dila Maag shrine. Inside of here, you're gonna get a blessing for a piece of the barbarian armor and a shrine orb. The next shrine that I guarantee you found is the Daqo Chisay shrine. This one is located right outside of Gerudo Town, and is going to act as your fast travel point for Gerudo Town. This is going to be called the whole picture. There's a very good chance you already did this one, so I'm going to cover it briefly. We're going to take this barrel, move it to in between these 2 conductors. We're going to take that giant block, and we're going to move it in between those 2 conductors. That opens up access to this barrel, which we're then going to take this giant block, and we're going to move it right in front of you. We're going to take our newly acquired barrel and place it in between these 2 conductors. And we're going to take our first original barrel and place it between these 2 conductors. That gives us access to a metal chest. Now, we are going to take our metal chest that we just acquired, bring it with us to the right side, and we're going to place it in between those 2 conductors. We're then going to take our metal barrel, place it between these 2 conductors. We're going to take our giant block, place it between those 2 pillars, and take our last barrel and place it between these 2 conductors. That gives us access to yet another giant block. Now we're going to take our newly acquired giant block. We're going to put it on the left side of the pedestal. We're going to take our old giant block. We're going to put that on the left side of the pedestal. And that gives us access to our shrine orb. Fantastic. Just because I have a feeling it's going to come up in the comments down below. If you take a metal weapon, yes, you could totally use that to conduct the electricity. And that gives us access to our shrine orb. Fantastic. Our next shrine is actually located right on the opposite side, completely north of Gerudo Town. This is the Kemazu's Shrine. This one you could do before or after having access to Gerudo Town. If you do it before Gerudo Town, you just need to walk your way over here to this one exact spot right here with these 4 pillars and this one circular thing in the middle. Or if you do have access to Gerudo Town, once you exit out the north end, speak to the guard there and she's going to give you the shrine quest. You're going to make your way from one statue holding a sword in the direction that they're holding a sword, pretty much zigzagging through the entire desert until you come right here, the Kemazu Shrine. This is located inside of a giant perpetual sandstorm, so you're not going to have access to your radar or your map throughout the entire thing, so pay close attention to where those swords are facing. Inside of here, this is going to be a delayed puzzle. If you don't care about the treasures whatsoever, you just come here, shoot that with a shock arrow, that's going to open up your gate and give you access to the shrine orb, and you're done. Or if you want to do it the way it was designed to be done, climb on top of here and grab this magnetic guy as soon as it's in the air. It is not easy to get your hands on. Got it. And when you can move this over to this pedestal and activate it electrically. In order to get the chest in this area, you can bring that giant magnet thing over here, or once again, just shoot it with a shock arrow. Great. From here, you can actually work your way completely south to the Tomoru Dunes, and this is going to require you to defeat a Molduga in the area. Moldugas are fairly easy to defeat, considering that they're pretty much blind and can't see you. They just go by vibrations in the sand. You just drop a bomb onto the sand, wait till he goes to eat it, detonate said bomb, take out a super powerful weapon, and then just swing at him. Now, you don't need to defeat the Molduga of this area, but it does make doing this quite a bit easier. Also, you usually get some pretty nice stuff for him. Actually, yeah, make sure you defeat the Molduga. That way you get his guts, which is used for a side quest inside a town that gets you the Thunder Helm. So yeah, super important stuff. So now you're gonna need to light all 4 of these torches. If you have a fire elemental weapon, awesome. If you don't, a fire arrow works. Or you can make yourself a campfire, and then with a wooden weapon, activate the additional ones. Lighting your 4th torch is going to give you access to the shrine. This is going to be Tho Kayu's blessing. Make your way inside, get your chest, and your shrine orb. Fantastic. Our next shrine is going to be the Korsh Ahu Shrine. This one is going to be located at the East Gerudo ruins in between these 7 different pedestals here. I recommend going to Wasteland Tower and floating down from here. From your tower, if you come by, you're going to be able to see all of the statues in the distance. And on top of number 3, going in clockwise order, is going to be the first one that you need to get. This one was the most difficult one for me because I didn't know that it was here. And if you look at the top of the statue, you're going to see that they all have a little marker on them. You basically need to line up the orb of the corresponding marker underneath the actual statue. The location of all the orbs, for the 3rd one, it's going to be at the top of the statue. For the 2nd one, there's going to be one right at the base of the sword. For the 4th one, there's also one at the base of the sword. And then the other 4 are, well, pretty much out in the open. The pattern of all of these 7, just so I could show you guys, so you don't need to reference the top. The first one is going to be this little comma looking icon. The 2nd one is this capital A. The 3rd one is a O. The 4th one is a colon. The 5th one is this scroll-looking image, or a capital I. The 6th one is this rounded arrow with the giant circle out of the bottom. And the 7th one is the double parallel lines. Once inside, get your blessing and your shrine orb. Fantastic. Our next shrine is super easy to see from Gerudo Town and pretty much anywhere on the map. You need to make your way to the Great Skeleton, and it's the Hawa Koth Shrine. There's going to be a giant sandstorm in this area, so I'm going to recommend making your way from Gerudo Town with the sand seal and just making your way on over. This one is located underneath the Great Skeleton, right next to the Great Fairy. You probably found this one already. Now that we're inside, we're going to use magnesis on this block and place it to the left of these two. And we're going to use magnesis on this block and place it on the opposite side of those two. Our second room requires us to take this ball, unravel the chain around the pedestal, and place it right next to that. Once on top of here, it's a smart idea to snipe out all three of these Guardian Scouts. Grab this electricity orb and make your way on over to the other side. Be careful not to touch any of these. Oh, by the way, use magnesis, there's a chest in the water. Now we're gonna use magnesis on it and place it on top of this pedestal over here. That's going to reveal a pathway to another chest. Now we're gonna take our electric orb back and we're going to put that on this pedestal over here. We're gonna make our way to the next room. We're gonna step on this switch, use magnesis to bring these giant blocks over to the last spot, step off of the switch, use magnesis once again on the center railing, and we're going to move that up slightly. Inside of here, you're going to find your last chest and a giant cog, and we're going to place this giant cog on top of this, and it just kind of snaps in place, makes your life real easy. And that's going to give you access to your shrine orb. Fantastic. All of these can be done before actually even stepping foot into Gerudo Town. Except for the one that we are about to do and the one after that. This is going to be the Misae Suma Shrine. The Misae Suma Shrine is located right here, in between the Southern Oasis and the East Barrens. When you first get here, there's going to be a Gerudo named Poki collapsed on top of the terminal, saying that she needs a drink. Next, you need to make your way inside of Gerudo Town, make your way inside of the bar and speak to Ferosa, and tell her about your drink situation. You then need to get some ice. And this ice requires you to make your way to the very north end of this pillar area, taking care of all the enemies along the way. Make your way downstairs and speak to Anch.
Oh.
Anch is going to tell you that she got some ice for you. However, you're going to have to bring it back yourself, which requires you to carry it all the way through this entire area, taking care of all these enemies along the way, making sure that they don't attack it with their weapons or get too close to the fire. And then when you finally make your way to the very south end, speak to Ferosa. She's gonna be like, oh, well, you did a good enough job, kid. Then go back to the bar, speak to Ferosa again, then make your way all the way back out to the shrine, speak to Poki again, tell her she's gonna have the best drink ever if she just goes over there, totally promise. And then she goes away. Make your way inside of the shrine, collect your blessing, which is a diamond, which is pretty awesome, and get your spirit orb. Fantastic. The last shrine for the Wasteland is going to be located directly south of Gerudo Town, here at the Sand Seal Rally. This is the Raqa Zunzo Shrine. This shrine quest requires you to actually complete the entire Divine Beast Va Naboris dungeon. After you do that, head to the Sand Seal Rally, speak to these two Gerudos, pay the $50 entrance fee, and make sure you have at least one shield to do all your surfing. You're then going to make your way through this entire area in less than 90 seconds. And then once you do, you're going to finally get your giant orb, place it on the pedestal, and that's going to open up the Raqa Zunzo blessing. This chest is going to yield us a radiant shield, which isn't too horrible. And then of course, get your shrine orb. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, every single shrine in the Wasteland region. Guys, we're almost done. We have almost tackled every single area. The only places that are left are going to be Ridgeland, Tabantha, Woodland, and Central. Great. If you click the card in the top right corner of your screen right here, you're going to get a poll for which area we should go to next. Be sure to check him out. Decide which area you guys want to see next for our next episode of Shrine Hunters. Until next time, Austin John out. Be sure to like this video and subscribe. I'm going to be giving you guys lots of helpful videos in the next following days and weeks. Till next time, Austin John out.